Hey, it's Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just wanted to let you know that we've got our first major script done that will run our complete end-to-end processing on this analytics system that I've been running and working on for the last couple of months, where it does all the government data sourcing, analyzing the potential and profitable market sectors out of 250. It will also process mutual funds out and trading pairs out of that, and it adds it to a watch list. And then it will also time on the watch list those trading pairs, any opportunities that come along over the next, let's say, 8 weeks, to say yes or no for going into positions or entering into positions or putting them on. So the system is pretty good. I'm going to be having 2 further segments of this video. Some people have asked for this, so I'm providing it. Basically, it's a voyeuristic view of the script running in the background on my desktop. It takes a bit of time, so I left that segment right to the end. There's no audio to it. You'll just watch a computer do its thing and generate charts and some other stuff. But the next segment before that is the actual reports that get posted onto my paywall for the analytics service that I have, which is pretty cheap, pretty low risk. I'm keeping it pretty affordable, just for a signal generating kind of reporting service for people that may be interested in it. Obviously, I've targeted it towards day traders, retail traders, also traders, and namely investors. I'm kind of right now, I'll call myself more an investor, more interested in mutual funds and indices as a trading opportunity, because some of us don't have the real time to, get into trading, and I'm one of them. So as it stands, about mutual funds and the indices, that's tracking opportunities in U.S., U.K., Canada, and Australia. So those are generated every day based upon what it sees as potential opportunities. So those get reported every day. I'll show all those. Further that, if you go to my analytics section on my site, you will see a whole slew of videos that will fully explain each and every report, how they're generated, the rationale behind them, and why I'm using these methodologies, which is pretty well used the same as part of the training program over at Goldman Sachs. So this is pretty exciting times. The next step is to take this service and the reports, all these, my watch list and the trading pairs, they get added to a watch list in a database. So now I can add that watch list and then pass that control over to a automated trading system like Trade Manager, which is open source in Java, and then be able to take it from there and then build custom trading strategies that can work off of those assets that may be of interest. And again, those can be right now equity, US only, and mutual funds and indices. Now the other cool part about it is I could really break it down by country, by market sector, all the latest and greatest detail as much as I want. This system has been designed for that. A whole slew of other set of reports will come out of it, but right now I'm just trying to keep it basic. So right now, where the volume and the liquidity lies is the U.S. markets, nowhere else. I've done tests upon Germany, China, throughout Europe and UK, and I'm just not finding proper what I call stock selection for trading pairs that can come out of it. That's really worth trading compared to my risk assessment and the criteria that I set for that, for those pairs to be on my watch list. So let me shut up and let you watch these other videos. Hopefully this is good enough for you to peer into the system, what it does, what it generates, and the actual reports that are part of my membership service called basically Quant Labs Analytics. Every day there's something in there. There's about 6 or 7 reports every day. All right, talk to you later. Have a good day. Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Okay, so in my next video after this current video segment are a series of videos. You'll watch this complete system in MATLAB run what I call basically the AK-47 process, which runs another series of processes which will generate files that I'm about to show you. So if you want to watch the video, just hang out. almost probably an hour and a half it takes to run the entire set. But as I said, if you want to get more details, just come anywhere on our site. Just come under here, Analytics, and this will walk you through all in great detail, all the videos that I have available in detail on what each video or each report file does. Okay, this is numerous amounts, why, who it works, why, all that. Okay, so let me show you what we have in a nutshell. So when you watch this next set of videos, in this one particular video, it's going to generate a bunch of videos. The first one it's going to give you government data. It's going to give you U.S. Federal Reserve forward-looking and the European Sentiment Indicator forward-looking. Once that's done, it goes through and does a complete scan of the market, what I call American for the U.S. idea generation. I'm going to show you what each report or posting contains, and then for each one you'll get the mutual funds and indices for a specific set of market sectors that the system thinks might be worthy to look at, and you'll get with each of those sectors a long and a short, and then they get added to the watch list. Now, for that to happen, we do maintain a huge watch list of trading ideas. Let me show you these in a minute. And then we also run not just what's on the watch list, but statistical analysis. Some people seem to like that. All right, so let's walk you through the first set of reports, which is the U.S. Federal Reserve typo here. So let me just open that up. And typically, if you're not a member to the service, you won't get access to this posting, obviously. And what you're after are these zip files, okay? The zip files are basically what has all the data, all the info, the charting, all that, and basically, let me just show you what we're talking about here. So let me just open up this file, the zip file that you can download, and then you extract it. Here, I'm just doing that in the process. Okay, hang on here. Okay, so it's this one that we're referring to that just opened up. So these are all the reports that you'll get. Now again, as I said, you can get and watch those further videos I show in the analytics section to really get a handle on what's available here. This is just the government reports for the U.S. So you get all the government data for durable housing starts, industrial, and all kinds of other juicy stuff that you can generally download from the U.S. Fed, which is one example here. Industrial production, non-durable, and I keep it all the historical data, so it will chart the entire. Data for this month, 95, 69, so on and so forth. Okay, so you get all of that included. I also include some other reports. So let's say this one here, which is the entire Fed process, which is from the Federal Reserve. And you do get all those charts that I mentioned, and you get to see what's going on in those sectors, those markets. Now, it might be a request for everybody to sort of like blow these up. Maybe you don't care about these time periods, and you only care about, let's say, the last 6 months. I can definitely break that down. Just let me know, and chart only those time periods. But you do get all that fun stuff, yay. And let's go back to let me just see what else, if there's anything else that I'm missing there. And here. Yeah, so you get the text files for the Fred, as well as you get that compiled PDF file, process Fred. All right, So let's go to the next one. This is now the European. The European is a little different from all the others. Now, again, I show you the more detail. This is just another example of all these reports get processed every business day, Monday to Friday, obviously. So we now have the ESI, so we have a zip file for that. So let's download that puppy. Okay, yeah. And let me just pull that puppy up and extract that. I believe that was called the ESI 5. Not a problem. As you can see, I got numerous instances of these different ESI files, just for testing, obviously. So we're going to extract that. ESI 5, what does that contain? It's like Christmas. This is on here. So this one, again, we grab all the latest files from the European, whatever, Europa, EU, Central Bank. They set all this data. So this is all the latest that's available. All these Excel. Let's just check out retail total. Again, these are all Excel. Yeah, it's Excel. Just open it up. These are right from the website, from that European website. This is what they look like. So it automatically downloads, gets the latest one. So you get some info here, and then you get the actual info. Now again, this is by country. As you can see here. You know, there's the time periods. So yeah, that's how that works. Now I do believe this is for the entire European zone. Just try to pull up another one here. Industry total. These are industrial spreadsheets. Again, from that website. Industry monthly, again, that's what we're after. So you know, the quarterly if you want, but we only use really the monthly. And it just grabs the latest one. There's a country for each one. So let me just show you what we process and how we process. And it's really each one. So this would be service, this would be retail, this would be consumer, this would be building. Okay, so that's what we include. And we just pull up one of these. So this is building start forward outlook, and then you get each, and I explain this in each, those detailed videos. You get one for each country, building for Belgium, Denmark, and the end of each one, you'll find if it was to do a long and a short of each country in the zone, it would choose long and a short for Portugal and Sweden, with the proper average for that month. Okay, so that's the European. And again, you just come under here, analytics, to get the detail of what each report, video, sorry, each spreadsheet means. Okay, so let's move into the next phase. So we have now, this is the crust of it for the American. So what we do is we do some idea generation. It goes through the U.S. Feds, those Excel files. It will apply each day a set of different market sectors for each day, each market sector condition. So I'll explain that in a minute. So this file is going to be different for each day of the week. So you could expect different market sectors scanned for each day of the week, depending upon if it's contraction or expansion based upon that sector for the U.S. or what the U.S. Fed is reporting for that month. So let's check that out. Okay, so I believe we've got this one. So that's this one, idea 2. Extract it. Okay, where are we? Extract idea 2, this one. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. This is the meat and potatoes of it all. So essentially, you get all the charting for each potential stock that that's going to list, a short and a long. So in this case, these are the sectors of interest for that particular day. So we got auto dealerships, department stores, electrical vehicles, farm products, general building materials, gold, healthcare, medical, money, center banks, property casualty, all these. So I'm going to open one up. And these are, again, on what the system thinks that those are going to be good sectors to look at. Again, this is all automated by that system in the next video that you watch to see how it works. So in this case, what it does for this particular market sector in the U.S., in this case, the market sector is trading idea category healthcare plans for U.S. Okay, so what we're doing is these are the actual tickers from Yahoo, and again, all this comes from Yahoo Finance. These are the full names, and as you can tell, you can get a full spreadsheet. These are the exchanges that are listed on the country, obviously the U.S. We're only right now focusing on the U.S. because, as I said before, when you factor in UK, even European countries, even Germany, they don't offer enough liquidity or volume to even run these scans to make it worthwhile to investigate. Not only that, but sometimes there's not enough stocks to trade, and these are the risk metrics that I use to say, are they worth investigating? Again, this is all done automatically. If there's not enough any of these metrics, the system won't even bother listing it. Why? Because it's just, there's no point in doing it if you're not going to get fills done on those particular shorts and longs that it selects. So these are the risk metrics. So we have some statistical metrics. We have the mean that we calculate for all these particular stocks or tickers, the standard deviation, the variance, and the skewness. Okay, that's what these stand for. Now, on top of that, we also look at the earnings price per share for the current, next quarter. I think that's next year. Yeah, next year, next quarter. Now, these are guidance from the companies themselves. So you can see some companies don't list guidance for certain reasons. And typically the reason is the company's not confident with its forward outlook. So if they're not going to list it, again, is it worthwhile to pursue? So these are metrics that we use to get our long and short. So if you see a EPS that's fairly high, like in this case, I guess Humana, we know that that's probably something worth investigating because the company set its earnings price per share, EPS, at a very high level, which means they have confidence in their stock moving forward. Now, the other thing, that's a good thing on their higher guidance based on their EPS. And of course, you want to pick the shorts that have the weaker EPS because, again, that's coming from the companies on their own forward guidance. So we use that as a good measurement. This is probably one of our top metrics that we use for ranking our short and our long. Now, of course, we have our market cap, which is the size of the company. Typically, it's not a lot. I mean, I would rather go with companies that are over $1 billion, but these are the sizes listed in hundreds of millions of dollars or in billions. But you can see there's a lot of small players. And then we also use average true range as well. There's 5-day, 20-day, 60-day, and 250 days. Now, when you think about these, remember I told you this is the measurements, the timelines that are used from something like an internal Goldman Sachs training program. This is what they use: is 5 days, 1 week, 20 working days is 1 month, 60 days is 1 quarter, and 250 is typically 1 year. So that's why these time periods are used versus what you're probably used to. Now, of course, these are the implied volatility. These are always zero for now. These got to get fixed up. Calculating implied volatility is not an easy process when you're using Yahoo Finance data, but I think over time, as the system gets more popular, I'll have more reason to use IQFeed to source out better data from it. So from there I can get much better volatility, implied volatility calculated by something like IQ or wherever the source could be from the exchange, let's say. Because typically you have to calculate these. Now I have the capabilities, but anyways, we'll leave it at that. But in all, these are risk metrics. There are different methodologies you can use to calculate your short and long. I have a process that kind of works, but after talking to Ernie Sheehan, there is a better way using a regression analysis, which I'll implement in a future date to really narrow down these shorts and longs. Obviously, that's pretty critical. But for now, I'm just using the initial version and see how that goes as part of the paper trading as we roll out this system. All right, so that is our idea generation for each of these market sectors, and of course you get your charts, your PNGs, which is usually, for this case, CB, AX on the GSPC, and we always use the S&P 500, which is a GSP here, as our trend, as our measurement, just to give you an idea of how it performs against the S&P 500. And I'll give you all the data points and the regression, or the trend line for that, using, again, linear regression. Okay, so there's that. So that's part of our idea generation. Now, out of that, what happens is, let me close that up, those long and shorts get generated, and what will happen is they will get added to the watch list based upon those pairs. So I'll show you that in a minute. But I've also mentioned that we also include mutual funds and indices. Now again, I'm only interested in where the American economy is going. I haven't broken it down to, let's say, if I focus on Canada, hey, Canada might have better sectors to look into for particular mutual funds and indices, but I'm right now just tying it back to the US on those market sectors, what look good, and that's applied to all of these mutual funds for both, for all of US, Canada, Australia, and UK. So let me just show you this posting here. Now remember, you're going to get these every day, so this will change every day. So in our case, if you're a passive investor and you're looking for indices and mutual funds to invest into, where the majority of my audience will most likely live in, Australia, UK, Canada, or UK or Australia, this is for you. So let me just save that. Alrighty, let's take a look at that file. I have it here. Okay, so that's what we want. Okay, so I'm going to extract it. So that's mutual. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this is what we contain. So we have spreadsheets generated for each of the sectors of interest for that particular day. All of the indices and mutual funds for let's say gold in the U.S. Some of them will be blank, just due to the fact, as another example, that there's not enough. In this case, mutual funds are indices for that country, for that market sector. So again, this is a typical response you get, no data. You just see what ones will have data. And you can typically source them out by size. So in my case, we probably got one here for gold, for Australia. So these are indices for mutual funds. So again, I'm not in Australia, so I'm not familiar with these mutual funds for Australia, but these may be worth looking into if you are interested in investing in mutual funds or indices, if they apply, if there are any data, meaning obviously mutual funds are indices for that region or exchange. So in this case, we have the same risk metrics as before: mean, standard deviation, variance, skewness, beta, and then the EPS. The EPS is probably most what you should be looking at, and of course our ATI. These are no different than any other trading asset as far as the system is concerned. All right, so we don't go beyond what you see here. We don't do long, the short. These are indices, but this is just for your own I guess call it manual research on something you may be interested from a mutual fund or indices point of view for that particular region. In this case, again, gold for Australia. All right, so hopefully that's another good example. This is very useful, obviously. All right, so our next report is obviously our watch list. This is really valuable because this we use the watch list as a kind of a gatekeeper. And let me just show you that. Typically, what will happen is this watch list is just a straight up PDF of what's in our watch list, all our statistical data, and we also provide a normalized distribution, all the statistical data for each of these symbols. Okay, and typically we list and time the opportunities that are available for the watch list. All right, and I do know there is a spreadsheet available. Let me just pull up my browser again. Alrighty. Okay, let me just get back to where I was. Okay, hopefully. Alright, so we were looking at our watch lists as before. And let me just pull down, actually I could have just done this. Let me just pull this down, or download it. So this is our, as I said, our watch list. So what we're now watching is charting the spread between those pairs along the short, and the trend line of each one. And what we're looking for are opportunities on the opening of those pairs, and that's all based around crosses between and the spread between the long and short pair. Okay, and you kind of get an idea. But again, watch those detailed videos on how that works, because I don't want to get into that in this particular video, but it's quite interesting to see how the system will measure. I think there is signal generation at the end of it. Most of the time, let me just get to the end of this. Yeah, so do not add any positions. Doesn't see any opportunities at that point to add any positions. Okay, so that's the watch list, and there is supposed to be a spreadsheet of that. Okay, so the last one is the statistical analysis of what's on the watch list. So we'll get that to ASAP. So coming back to our very last report to show is the watch list statistics. This is just for people that are interested in the statistical end. This is what it contains. We give for each pair, well, actually for each stock, we have listed a range of things like number of positives and negatives on the data, on the time series, number of positions that can be applied, frequency of negative or positive, the mean, standard deviation, the upper bound of the standard deviation, the low. And again, this is further described in one of the videos as I showed before, under here, under analytics, so you'll be able to find all that stuff. So again, we have our skewness, kurtosis, and then our normal standard deviation when it's normalized, and the actual, and all that sort of cool stuff. Okay, so at the end of each of these this particular report, you'll find we offer the the normalized distribution of those particular symbols. So you do get that. It's all automatically generated, and hopefully that's just the starting point. There's gonna be a lot more to offer, a lot more improvement. If you got criticisms or comments, please let me know. I'm always here to improve things and make it easier and better for people, because this is our first time starting this kind of effort. As you can see, this is a very long video, a lot to offer, and I'm only really right now focusing on the US in terms of equity, with all the statistical and pair trading opportunities that it generates, on top of the government data, on top of the mutual funds for all those regions I explained. It's a lot, and I could continue it by doing even more scans, putting up more data, and it can easily overwhelm people, which I right now don't want to do. On top of that, if I really wanted to, I could break it right down by region if I had to, by, as I said, UK and maybe even Germany. I mentioned a lot of times about China. We could do China, but I'm not going to trust it. So really our only alternative right now is the US to focus on for equities. Okay, so hopefully let me know if this is cool. Now comes the very long part of this video, which is basically I think it's 4 pieces of the system running and generating all these reports I just showed you. You will find it has bombed here and there. That's, as I said earlier, part of the debugging process. Doesn't impact the reports, just impacts the generation of these reports, and pretty well it's just bombing on the market sectors. So those will get cleaned up, and there'll be much better analysis. And on top of that, as I said, it's really only doing one market sector for each government data point. So if it's building housing starts, you're just going to get one market sector for that housing start. And again, there's a set for contrarian, which when the economy for that sector is in a contrarian economic condition, or if it's in an expansion. So I do factor in the defenses versus the cyclicals, and that's already factored into the this whole process, and that will be explained in further videos as explained here in the analytics section. Okay, so anybody can get access to this, and that's pretty well it. As I said, there's tons of videos here explaining everything. It's a pretty lengthy process to get to this point where I'm at. I'm really happy where it's at, and it's going to be really useful for people wanting to analyze the markets, and just alone for the indices and mutual funds alone on that is pretty beneficial. And let alone if you are going to trade in the US, this can really take care of a lot of those pairs and select some good ones on top of that. And our next step, as I said, is to implement what we put on the watch list and implement it into a live trading system to have it run up against certain strategies that we may feel may be good for those particular types of assets. And the next big one that I'm going to start adding is probably futures, because futures is another big area to look into. Okay, so hopefully this will help you out, and let me know what you think. Comment away if it's on my Facebook, Twitter, whatever, YouTube. Let me know, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay, so the system's up and running right now, which is again in MATLAB. The remaining part of this video is well over an hour. From my calculations here, you're probably looking at, from this point on, about 2.5 hours of this whole entire script running. So right now, it's downloading data, it's doing all kinds of stuff, it's silent, What it's doing is calculating all the data. That's the US data. It's going to do the ESI, the European Sentiment Indicator, and all that. So I'm going to fade away and let you do and watch if you're really wanting to watch this. But this is the entire system running in the background on a desktop in a MATLAB process. This is how everything gets generated, compiled as a spreadsheet for Excel or a PDF. Pretty well in the previous segment I showed you all that. So let me know what you think. Lots of debugging still, lots of tweaking, but this is it. And remember, folks, the power of why I'm using MATLAB here is just due to the fact of the ability to turn this into a self-executable, self-contained executable or a jar file for Java, which can be deployed pretty well onto any operating system if it's Linux or Mac. So I have all these sort of various options available at my disposal if I choose to. For now, I'm just keeping it as I've shown you, there's a lot of flexibility and stuff that comes out of this, especially with the database. And now I can take all these, what will show up on my watch list, and be able to add those to an actual live trading system and run strategies against it. And yeah, it's an exciting phase here for everybody here involved at quantlabs.net. Okay, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to let the system run and entertain you. Could be a lonely Saturday or Friday night for you. I don't know. Maybe this is a highlight for you. As I said, now we're at 36 minutes. And according to my calculations, the entire video is 3 hours. So I'm not going to sit here and blab and tell you jokes and how wonderful I am and blah, blah, blah. I could do that, but I'm not going to. So I'll let the system do its thing from here on out. Over and out. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for being patient. Thank you very much for helping us get to this point. This is our next big phase, part of our data analytics that we'll be rolling out for the remainder of obviously 2015 and some other cool stuff we're hoping to get into. Yeah, we'll talk to you later, and let me know what you think. I'm always here via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Comment away on the YouTube videos. I'm watching, reading everything that comes in, and want to improve. I already got some good ideas from some people, so let's make it happen. Let's make this thing really good. All automated trading for paired trading, for basically the U.S. economy. Can be, as I said, applied globally, and I could fairly easily apply the Forex futures, as I said before. So I've designed all that in mind, and again, I have a pretty sophisticated Postgres database as well for all this, with the watch list and the positions, and tie it all up in Trade Manager, see what we can come up with, and on the MATLAB side, apply the risk management on top of a portfolio optimization. So again, really excited about this, and let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you later. And I'm going to shut up now and enjoy the rest of the video. Talk to you later.